Exclusive content alert. Hit subscribe now and turn on the bell notification. Welcome to Clash of Civilizations, Family Edition. Enjoy the funniest family clashes.
The excitement and dread of family vacations. Lily, you will not believe the fam vacation we just survived. Seriously, it was a whole mood. Remember that time you got stuck in the car with your family for like 10 hours? Or that awkward moment you had to explain your latest TikTok trend to grandma? Girl, Gen Z Jenny has been there. So I'm spilling all the tea on my survival guide to make your family vacays less cringe and like actually enjoyable. Is your fam trip more torture than trip? Because mine totally was at points. I'm about to drop some serious knowledge on how to get through your next family getaway without losing your sanity or your phone's battery, which, let's be real, is basically the same thing. Okay, so my parents, bless their boomer hearts, decided we had to go to the Grand Canyon. And I'm like, Grand Canyon? Is that like the biggest ditch ever? Turns out, grand is relative when you're stuck in the back seat with your siblings for 12 hours. Anyway, buckle up because this is Gen Z Jenny's ultimate survival guide. You'll thank me later, trust. Packing hacks for a smoother trip. Alright, so first up, packing. This isn't just like throwing clothes in a bag, it's straight up strategic warfare, people. You gotta pack smart, not hard. My #1 rule, prioritize essentials. Like, do you really need 5 pairs of shoes for a 3-day trip? No, stick to stuff you can mix and match. And for the weather, because Mother Nature is like a total drama queen during family vacays, pack in layers. A light jacket, a few long-sleeve tees, some basic tops. You're good. Nobody wants to be the person shivering when everyone else is vibing. And if you haven't discovered the magic of packing cubes, what are you even doing with your life? Seriously, these things are chef's kiss. They keep your stuff organized, squish everything down so you have more space for like souvenirs, and make it super easy to find your fave top without like destroying your whole suitcase. I organize mine by outfit. It's like a tiny, neat wardrobe in your luggage. Now let's talk entertainment essentials because, newsflash, there will be downtime. Lots of it. And you're going to need your sanity. First, a portable charger. This is like non-negotiable. Your phone is your lifeline for music, for mapping, for ignoring your dad's questionable jokes. Don't get caught with a dead battery. Secondly, headphones. A good pair of noise-canceling ones, your personal bubble. Use them for listening to your playlist, your podcasts, or just signaling to the world that you are not available for conversation. Trust me, they're worth the splurge. And if you're feeling like super retro, a book or an e-reader is always a solid choice. Sometimes just disconnecting and diving into a story is exactly what your brain needs. Oh, and for when you do have to interact with the fam without a screen, a small travel game like cards or a compact board game can totally save you from awkward silence. And here's a pro tip, something I learned the hard way. Pack a mini emergency kit. This little pouch is your savior. Mine has travel-sized toiletries because hotel samples are never enough, any meds you take, and basic first aid stuff like Band-Aid and pain relievers. You never know when a headache or a blister is gonna hit, and avoiding a last-minute panic run to some random pharmacy is always a win. Be prepared, people. It's all about proactive survival. Okay, so you've packed like a pro, you're like ready for anything, but what about the people? Specifically the people you're related to. Family vacations are like prime breeding grounds for awkward moments, disagreements, and general cringe. The key is to prepare for the inevitable. You know your family, right? You know who's going to bring up that super embarrassing story from when you were 5, or who's going to argue about the fastest route for 3 hours straight. Anticipate potential conflicts and brainstorm coping strategies beforehand. If Aunt Carol always asks about your love life, have a stock answer ready that politely deflects. If your siblings always fight over shotgun, establish a rotation before you even leave. A little preemptive planning can save a lot of headaches. This next one is crucial. Find your safe space. Every family trip needs one. This is your designated escape zone, a place where you can just chill for some much-needed alone time. It could be your hotel room, a quiet corner by the pool, a specific bench in a park, or even just a long walk by yourself with your AirPods in. Find it early and don't feel guilty about using it. Even just 15 minutes of solitude can recharge your social battery and stop you from snapping at someone you love. Mostly. It's self-preservation, people. And this might be the hardest one for some of us, but it's essential. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. I know, it's family, but your mental health matters. It's totally okay to politely decline activities you're not interested in. If everyone wants to go to that weird antique shop and you'd rather chill by the pool, just say so. Thanks, but I think I'll sit this one out and catch up on some reading. See you at dinner. It's also okay to take breaks for personal time. You don't have to be glued to your family 24/7. Learning to say no gracefully will save you a lot of resentment and ensure you actually enjoy parts of the trip on your own terms. Remember, you're an individual, not just a family unit. Making the most of family time. Okay, so we've talked survival, now let's talk thriving, because despite the occasional chaos, family vacations can be genuinely fun and memorable. The trick is to lean into the good stuff. My first tip for making the most of it is embrace the unplugged experience. I know, coming from a Gen Zer, this sounds wild, but seriously, try to minimize screen time. Put your phone away during meals. Look up from your TikTok feed when you're exploring a new place. Focus on engaging in real-life experiences and interactions. You're in a new environment with people who mostly love you. Have actual conversations. Listen to stories. Observe your surroundings. You'll be surprised how much more present and connected you feel when you're not constantly checking notifications. Plus, it gives your family fewer opportunities to ask, "What are you looking at on that phone?" Next, try to discover local activities that cater to everyone's interests. This takes a bit of research, but it's so worth it. Instead of just doing the typical tourist traps, look for unique attractions and events that are genuinely family-friendly and offer something for everyone. Maybe it's a local food tour if everyone's a foodie, or a cool street art walk if you're all into aesthetics, perhaps a quirky museum, a hike with an amazing view, or a local festival. Involve everyone in the planning process if you can. When people feel their interests are being considered, they're much more likely to be enthusiastic participants. It's about finding that sweet spot where fun meets compromise. And finally, capture memories with intention. While I just told you to unplug, I'm not saying ditch your phone entirely. It's still a fantastic camera. But instead of just mindlessly snapping, set aside time for intentional family photos. Get everyone in the frame, even if it's a goofy selfie. Document the trip in a travel journal. Just jot out a few bullet points each day, funny quotes, or cool things you saw. Or my personal favorite, create a shared photo album where everyone can upload their pictures. Apps make this super easy. It's amazing to look back at these moments later and remember the good times, even the chaotic ones. These aren't just trips, they're building blocks for shared history. So there you have it, Gen Z Jenny's guide to surviving and actually enjoying family vacations. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, but that's part of the charm, right? I remember this one time my family went camping and my dad, in his infinite wisdom, decided he was gonna be an expert fire starter. He spent an hour trying to get this tiny spark going, convinced he didn't need kindling. Meanwhile, my mom and I were just silently judging him, shivering, wrapped in blankets. Eventually, my little brother, who's 10, just pulls out a tiny Zippo lighter he'd somehow smuggled and lights it in literally 2 seconds. My dad's face? Priceless. We still talk about that moment. It was hilariously embarrassing for him, but it's now a classic family story. And that's the thing about family vacations. Amidst the questionable food choices, the endless car ride sing-alongs, and the occasional sibling squabble, you're creating these unique, often hilarious, and sometimes heartwarming memories. It's about more than just the destination. It's about the shared experience, the inside jokes that form, and the weird little traditions you develop. Even the frustrating moments often become the funniest stories later. So my advice is embrace the ups and downs. Embrace the good, the bad, and the utterly hilarious.
Because ultimately, these trips, even with all their quirks, are about spending time with the people who matter most. Go out there, make some memories, and don't forget your AirPods. You've got this.
Less cringe and more enjoyable. Honey, did you hear that? Our daughter just implied our carefully planned family trip was cringe. The nerve.
I'm not even surprised. She's acting like we took her to the end of the world and not just the Grand Canyon.
12 hours. We stopped every 2 hours. I thought her bladder was the size of a thimble. And her brother was just trying to show her the cool geological formations.
And bless their boomer hearts, is that how she refers to us now, James? I thought we were parental units last week. We're practically ancient history to her.
Oh, the packing cubes. She sounded like she discovered cold fusion. It's just a fancy little bag, Sarah. We used Ziploc bags for our socks and underwear when we traveled. And did you catch the portable charger is non-negotiable? My phone lasts 3 days on a single charge. Hers dies before she even gets out of bed.
Headphones, your personal bubble. That's code for I'm ignoring everything you say, even if you're offering me money. And the mini emergency kit. Bless her heart, she packed enough antibacterial wipes to sanitize the entire state of Arizona. I just threw a handful of Advil in my purse.
Oh, navigating awkward family moments. She probably meant when I tried to tell a dad joke and she visibly recoiled. And find your safe space? That's her bedroom, where she spends 90% of her life anyway. We practically had to bribe her to come out for dinner.
Oh, and don't be afraid to set boundaries. Remember when she set a boundary by refusing to wear socks to the fancy restaurant? Said they cramped her vibe. She showed us a boundary all right. My foot in her behind.
And the unplugged experience. That's rich, coming from the girl whose eyeballs are permanently fused to a screen. I think she posted 5 TikToks during our Grand Canyon hike. Capture memories with intention, he says. More like, capture my best angle for the gram.
My dad, and his infinite wisdom, decided he was an expert fire starter. Oh, the absolute savagery. She made you sound like a caveman, honey. I swear, these kids today, no respect for the journey, just the content.
And the Zippo lighter story. My little boy, a criminal mind smashed in sneaking a lighter onto a camping trip. She thinks it's a funny anecdote. I see a future arsonist. This generation, Sarah, everything's a vibe or cringe. It's exhausting.
Well, darling, at least she said these trips, even with all their quirks, are about spending time with the people who matter most. So deep down, she still loves her boomer parents. Probably just doesn't want to admit it on TikTok.
Yeah, well, next family vacation, I'm setting boundaries and bringing my own noise-canceling headphones. And maybe a Zippo, just in case.